Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of your favorite and my favorite podcast, the Real Estate Playbook. That's right, REPB, as it's known in other terms. We're coming to you live, not live, pre-recorded from sunny Tampa, Florida. And I am sweating. I'm joined today by our third repeat guest on the program. You know him, you love him. I tolerate him. Just kidding. Love you, buddy. His name is Horace Flournoy. Applause, 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 applause. Welcome back to the show, Horace. How are you, man?
I am, I think the traditional answer is great, but
Socially acceptable answer.
yes, I'm doing pretty good. I've been, an anxious ball of mess, but, good.
Love that.
Yes.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Raymond said something very similar last week. So
Did he really?
Is it just my tendency to get anxious people on the show? I don't know.
Maybe you make us anxious.
That is probably what happens. Yes. Though, as I said a minute ago, I'm sweating because I'm an anxious ball of mess myself. Even though I've done this, wait a second, 45 times. This is episode 45. Okay, I wasn't on all 45 of them. Some of them were Joe, but almost 45, man.
Congratulations, sir.
We're coming up on 50. I think I'm going to wear like a hat and like maybe get a cake for number 50 or something like that.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good for your 40-something episode.
Thanks, man. I'm aging rapidly.
You are. I'm 29 years old.
I'm 29. Oh. So, Horace, let's get into it, man.
Yes, sir.
So, for those of you who haven't seen Horace's first episode, Horace, this guy here, he's not what you would traditionally call a real estate agent. He's more of a breakdancer, right?
In my free time.
Yes, in his free time.
Mm-hmm.
Horace, if they haven't seen your previous episode, how would you describe what you currently do?
So I manage a department here at our lovely real estate company.
What?
I manage transaction coordinators who work behind the scene, and they basically work the contracts, corresponding with all the important parties, making sure all your documents are in compliance. I manage listing coordinators who I think you did once upon a time.
I did indeed.
Wow. But yeah, we list homes on the multiple listing service and deal with marketing for that and all that jazz. I also recruit agents. So if you want to be an agent, look me up.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
Wow, what a throwback. But
Thank you.
yes, I don't think anybody said that was good. But it's a fun time. So I basically work behind the scenes, help the realtors do what they need, and I'm just their little errand boy nowadays.
Oh man, Horace, give yourself some credit, man. Everybody loves you.
I know.
You're more than an errand boy.
Oh,
That's what we have Alex for, right?
absolutely.
He'll never hear this.
He definitely won't hear this.
So, interesting stuff, man. What has been your favorite part of that, if you had to choose one thing?
Well, I have always liked managing employees just because I like to I don't know. First, I like being a boss. I like being in charge.
Boss.
Yeah, but also I don't know. I like being the understanding boss. I like being the good boss and what are your career goals and how can I help you get towards those goals? I like being that person. And I also like just being the helper. I like being there for the agents, even when they're in a crisis, which happens frequently. And, I don't know, I just like being the guy. And it's what I was born to do, Paul.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yes.
Horace Flournoy, the guy.
Yes.
He's the guy.
Look me up.
So what kind of stuff are you doing with the recruiting, man? What does that look like?
So basically, I reach out to a lot of people that have just taken their state exam, and I try to help them out in any way that I can. So even if, our company isn't the company for you, I'm like, do you have any questions about just becoming a real estate agent / realtor in general? You know me, I'm a big old helper.
That's right.
So that's basically it. I reach out to people that are experienced agents, people that have just taken their exam, all across the spectrum. And I just like to have conversations with them And if I can convince them that this might be the home for them, then great, It always looks good on me when I bring agents here. But I do that. We just had an open house this week, actually.
Nice.
For those who don't know what that is, it's where we invite a bunch of realtors or potential realtors to our brokerage and, give them food and talk to them and stuff. It's a lot more, sophisticated than I make it sound. There was charcuterie involved.
Ooh.
Did I pronounce that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. If I pronounced that wrong on this podcast, I would die. But yeah, it's a good time. It's kind of like a fun part of the job most of the time. Yeah.
Right on, man. You get all kinds of different people in the real estate career, so I'm sure that part of it is fun. You get to meet some interesting folks.
Yeah, no, definitely. People, that work in real estate come from all walks of life. It's a very interesting career change for people. And, you really just have to kind of decide that you want to be a real estate agent to become one. It's like, let me go get this education, which isn't like too horribly extensive for you to have to do. And then, let your company or brokerage kind of train you the right way. So a lot of people, make the move, and they're from all walks of life. I saw someone that was like 19 at the last open house, and then someone that was like, I don't know, 45. I'm bad at guessing ages, but they looked like very separate age groups. So that's just, tells you could start at any time. Basically.
That's true. Do you find that you either enjoy it or can relate to these people because you have a similar background?
For sure. For those that didn't watch my first podcast,
Watch it.
Yeah, first off, you should. But yeah, I came from the restaurant industry and
The biz, as they call it.
the big biz. I was pulling my hair out, working 60 hours a week, slinging drinks behind a bar. Yeah. But COVID happened, if you missed that, or it's still happening.
Obligatory. COVID happened. COVID.
What? Obligatory, it's still happening, folks.
No, it's COVID.
Yes.
Things happen. So carry on.
Okay. What was I saying?
COVID happened.
I mean, right.
You're in the biz. COVID happened.
COVID happened. Yeah, it kind of killed the restaurant industry. Blah blah blah. I got laid off. Sad times. Boo hoo. Yeah, we don't want to talk about it, but actually we do because I'm here now, which is the silver lining in all of this.
Indeed.
Here with you, but yeah, I took the time. I was like, let me get licensed. Let me think of a career change, which is what I did, and I got licensed, and I was at another brokerage, who shall not be named, for a couple months. Found out that wasn't for me. Talked about that last podcast too, and then landed here. So, or it's more like it's like that was kind of like a.
Okay.
That's the one.
Thank you.
Perfect. But yeah, I ended here. So I like to help people find their way if I can. It's one of the many rewarding parts about, doing my job. This is plural.
He's a busy guy, this guy.
Mm-hmm. You got me here on a Sunday.
Yeah, buddy. The Lord's Day.
Yes.
Sorry about that. The Church of the Real Estate Playbook, as you might know it.
Yes.
So,
I was going to say our Lord and Savior Paul, but
oh boy,
might be a little sacrilegious.
You're gonna get us in trouble, Horace.
I love trouble, Paul.
Indeed. So, Horace, I'm sure there's a lot of different skills, a lot of different things you've experienced over time, a lot of different people you've met. There's a whole bunch of rigmarole that goes into all the many things that you do. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious, and I asked Raymond this on the last podcast, what do people misunderstand about your position or positions, plural, that you would like to set straight?
Well, first and foremost, when I tell people that I work in real estate, they're like, oh my gosh, you're an agent, do you sell houses? And the first thing I tell them is just no, because I don't sell houses. And then they're like, oh, well, tell me about the market, tell me about this and that. And I'm like, okay, I don't sell houses.
Rewind.
Right. Yes. So that's a really big misconception. I think people probably don't get that the industry of real estate is very multifaceted.
Right.
There's so many different parts about it. I mean, like, you're a marketing guy. I'm a transaction/listing/recruiting guy. There are people that only call and nurture leads. Like, there's so many different things about real estate. So when people automatically like, oh, you work in real estate, they're like, tell me about houses. How much do you think that my house could go for? And I'm like, I don't know. It has some beds and some baths and like a yard.
There's a roof.
Right. And I'm assuming some type of foundation.
One would hope.
Yes. But yeah, I have a lot of real estate knowledge, but it is going to be contractual knowledge. It's going to be, all that fun stuff about your contracts and addenda. That's the plural.
I think you're right.
I should know that. I'm so knowledge and experience. But in your dates and all that good stuff, like I know about that stuff. The market and like analysis, it's always doing a bunch of things which I try to understand, try to read up on, and try to like be out there and experience with. And I got a lot of experience with that as a showing specialist when I was doing that. But it's limited when I'm here behind the desk pushing numbers like a little keyboard number pusher. Yeah.
Interesting. So you meet people and they think that you're Phil Dunphy.
Yes, filled up. I called Paul Phil earlier today, which if you don't watch Modern Family, you should watch it.
You definitely should. It's on Hulu, streaming now.
Yes, 10, 11 seasons?
Something like that.
Yes. Paul reminds me of Phil. He's very, I don't want to say corny.
No, he's right.
Lively.
Yes. We'll take that. But yeah, people meet you and like you said, you say real estate and they're like, oh, so you just sell houses. Mm-hmm. You put your face on billboards and benches and stuff like that. That's not the case. So what I hear you saying, Horace, is that people should understand there's a lot more career options in the industry than it may seem at first glance. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you don't even really technically need to be licensed to do all of them. Real estate companies are companies as well, so they hire people to do all kinds of things. So if you're thinking about a career in it or just dipping your toe, you don't have your license, go for it. See what they're hiring for.
Dip your toe.
Dip your toe in the water. It's just fine. I just made that up.
Oh, I was like, I don't know that song. So Horace, how would your family describe what you do? I was talking to Raymond last week, and we were talking about that meme where it's like, what my family thinks I do, what my girlfriend thinks I do, what my friends think I do, what I really do. So what your family thinks you do versus what you really do?
So my family thinks, probably because I let them, they probably think I'm like a girl boss that, has their own office and is like, taking meetings and doing this and that, which is partially true. Like, I am in a lot of meetings, and I am like, director of transaction coordination. I have my own departments, plural, times 2.
Slow down.
Right? I can't, Paul. I can't. But yeah, they probably. I mean, I am very busy all the time, and I do work really hard, and I am, kind of important. I think. I would hope.
Yeah.
So, they're partially right, but, they probably think, I'm just like doing all these big things, and I kind of am, and I help set up the other offices.
There we go. That's right.
I didn't say that. I go to Fort Myers and Sarasota and Brooksville and
so on and so forth.
Just list all of our satellite offices.
I think our battery's about to die.
Oh, no.
Brief intermission. And we're back.
We back.
So yes, you were saying you helped set up the other offices. Yes, Horace?
Oh, yes. I forgot what the context for that was, but I drive to our multiple satellite offices and kind of, I'm setting them up with furniture and decorations and supplies. And
we got a lot of them now.
Yeah, like 9, I think.
We'll see if you can list them all. Go.
But they're changing.
Do
Sarasota, Fort Myers, Punta Gorda.
What'd you call me?
Inappropriate. We're getting one in Harbor Island. It's very fancy, right?
Oh my.
Gorgeous, like on the water, like lots of windows. I'm very excited.
Love it. I'm gonna have to stop by.
Yes. I mean, are you?
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Ybor, St. Petersburg, Lakeland, Brooksville, and Lutz. And we had Lakewood Ranch, but we're moving on from Lakewood Ranch. Deuces.
There's Sarasota though, yes. So
which
that's
is
pretty close by, right?
15 minutes away.
All right, right on.
Yes,
It's
sir.
a lot of offices, folks. So what that means is no matter where you are on the Gulf Coast of Florida and even a little bit of Central Florida and a little bit of South Florida, we've got you covered.
We got you covered in a little
right.
bit of a lot of areas and definitely in a few areas.
Definitely. And the best part is these agents, whoo, man, they drive everywhere.
Oh, for sure.
So hit us up. So moving along here, Mr. Flournoy. Speaking of your family and those around you, tell me about some of the most influential people in your life and perhaps how they've impacted you.
Ooh.
I like to get an insight into these sort of things to see how people have impacted my guests' careers, you know?
Okay. Well, I feel like the mom is the boring answer, but I would be a really bad kid if I didn't say her. You know, I don't want to say like Beyonce just because it's exciting.
Okay, yes.
But you know, she was an influence. But
Clearly.
yeah, my mom for sure. Just because you know, my mom was a single mom. She raised me and my little sister, and you know, she was also in the military. Yeah, for sure. So she was a very busy mom, and I was a very angsty teen at times, you know, and I went to college, and she put me through that. And, you know, I for sure wouldn't have the type of ambition and motivation that I do if it wasn't for her. She kind of always drove me to be better. She knew I was smart. She knew I could do things. So she was like, you're not going to settle for anything less. Like, you're an A student. Why is there a C on your report card? So, I mean, yeah, if it wasn't for her holding me to the expectations that she had and, you know, forcing me to set those expectations for myself, I honestly have no idea where I would be. I don't know, you know, how I would have gotten through college or how I would have just continued to push, you know, for promotions and to be, you know, the next man up at a job and just to be that guy, you know. And outside of that, you know, just being an all around good person, you know.
Wow.
Thanks.
Wait, are
Paul.
we talking about you or your mom?
Well, okay, me.
I was going to say, your mom sounds great, but I don't know about you.
Okay, well, but yeah, she's always tried to make me be a little bit of a better person, which, you know, she might have failed at that part, but,
Just kidding.
you know,
Just
we're
kidding.
all a work in progress, folks.
Of course.
Which is, you know, the main message here. So, yeah. But yeah, it's been great. Also, like, just seeing, like, there's just something about seeing your mom work hard for you. It's kind of
Yeah.
like being a single mom and being in the Army. It's like, oh my goodness, you're consistently busy and, like, you're feeding me right now. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm sitting here in high school being angsty and complaining about, I don't know, cooked, you know, at home food. Like, I don't want any baked chicken, Mom. Give me McDonald's. Like,
We got McDonald's at home.
right? No, we don't.
It's so funny. I've been seeing this meme on social media lately where it's like, now that I get older, like I realize how much of a brat I was as a kid. Like my mom will just be in the kitchen, like worrying about bills and stuff, and I'm over in the other room watching like Dinosaur Tales and
For
just
sure.
laughing my butt off or something like that.
100%. Or I'm like, please buy me the newest PlayStation 2 video game.
She's like, I got the electric bill, Horace.
Right. Do you like hot water? Or do you want Jack and Dexter? Great game if you haven't played it.
I think I've heard of that.
Oh my God, I'm aging
That
myself.
sounds so familiar. All right, I'm about to Google it. Sorry if you're listening right now. Jack and Dexter video game series. Oh, I did play this.
Oh my God.
Fantastic game.
Yes.
People at home are like, we don't care.
We don't. Okay, PlayStation 2 is an iconic game console.
Amen.
I live by that.
Amen.
It changed the gaming industry forever, and it is just full of nostalgia.
Used to play Star Wars Battlefront on that with my brother.
Oh my God, I loved that
Till
game.
my eyes bled
100%.
and my thumbs.
Gotta conquer the galaxy, man.
Classic.
Yes.
You could play as like Chewbacca and just like swat people. It was fantastic.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, it was such a good game.
What I would give to replay those now, like for the first time, the nostalgia.
Yeah. You know, I still own those games and my PS2, but you know, who has the time
Who
anymore?
has the time?
Yes. Who has the time to be a kid anymore?
That's something I was going to say, and now you got me thinking about GameCube and PlayStation. And no, I was going to say I relate to you, Horace, what you were talking about with your mom, because my mom was super hardworking too, both of my parents. And I think, yeah, they kind of got me working as soon as I legally could. Not like they pushed me and they were like, get a job, kid, but they were kind of always prepping me for that, if that makes sense. And then so I've had jobs since I was like 15, I think, was when you can legally start working in the state of Florida.
Snap.
And I think I kind of mirrored them to a certain extent in my early stages of my career, and even still now. These headphones are like falling off my head, if you can believe that.
No, we can't.
Yeah. Yeah, just kind of seeing how they hustled, and I think I take a lot of that into my own career here. So that's a really short way of summarizing that. But I relate to you in that sense, and I think it's important to have role models like that. If they're not your parents, then a friend or a coworker or something like that, a professor, whatever.
Yes.
Is there anybody perhaps at the brokerage that's influenced you in a way like that?
I hate to say Mike because I'd hate to give him credit for anything.
Oh, Jesus.
God, yeah, it's much easier to say I'm just becoming my mother. But Mike, he has that same kind of hustle culture, and he's always kind of thinking outside of the box,
Yeah.
and he's always thinking about the next steps, and he's always also thinking about other people. So
Yeah.
I would not like to be as busy and as stressed as Mike, but I, could take a few lessons from him and trying to, generate passive income and,
Yeah.
Always helping people in need if he can, those type of things. He's a good guy.
I'm pretty convinced him and Allison have clones with how busy they are. Haven't seen the clone yet, but I'm sure it's out there.
Yeah, gotta be.
But no, I definitely agree. Mike is definitely a positive influence on, I think anybody that's met him or worked with him here would probably agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, he just called me randomly out of the blue like 2 weeks ago in the morning, which apparently he does. I didn't know this.
Okay.
And it was like 9 o'clock in the morning. He just called me. I'm like, hello, thinking he needed something, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I just want to say I missed you, buddy. Have a great day. I was like, oh, Mike.
Oh, Mike.
You're going to make me cry, buddy.
He's so nice.
But yeah, he's a good dude. It's important to have role models, people. So don't think that you are the be-all, end-all, or that you know everything.
Because surely you don't.
Yeah, I don't know anything, really.
Yes, but the wise man knows that he knows nothing at all. It's a little bit of Socrates right there for you.
There it is.
Coming to you from a poli-sci major.
2 of them.
2 of them.
Welcome to the Poli-Sci Podcast. Today we're talking about the ideal form of democracy. It doesn't exist. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding, folks. Just kidding. I've been reading some Meditations, Marcus Aurelius, lately.
Oh.
What a banger of a book. Never supposed to be released to the public. It was just his private journals, but there's some real gems in there.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. I'll have to take a look.
You'll have to take a look, sir.
Write that down for me.
Horace. Horace?
Hello?
Horace.
Hello.
What is a lesson that you've learned in your career?
God, so
Come on.
many.
Come on. Okay.
Patience.
You're not a doctor. Hey-oh.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I guess patience. I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of the patience and optimism kind of go hand in hand.
Right.
Always just kind of knowing that there could be good things on the other side.
Turn the corner.
Exactly. Just keep going, keep pushing, keep going. You never know what's going to happen to you. Whatever's happening to you right now certainly isn't forever. So I like to be optimistic about the future, and I like to be patient and just think, what's coming to me is coming to me. I'm going to get my just desserts.
You're going to get yours.
Yes. Everyone will get theirs, as they say.
Is there a specific aspect, and it doesn't have to be, this stage of your career, but perhaps in the past that has, I'm looking for the word I'm searching for, implanted that in you? Or is it just a cumulative effect, would you say?
It's definitely a cumulative, but it definitely has built up over time. But I could probably say there are a few instances where there's a focal point, like for instance, my change to coming here. When I was at the other brokerage, I was like just really like an anxious mess. I was like, oh my God, I just spent, months out of my life trying to get into this new career, and I haven't really done anything else, and I don't think it's really working out for me. So I like was just sitting there and like working at this place, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. What have I done? But just I was optimistic at certain points, and was just like, you know what, if this isn't the place for me, maybe there is a place for me out there in this wonderful career we call real estate. And I was just patient with it. I got lots of job interviews, chose this place for some reason, and I was optimistic about it, and I just waited it out.
And here you are.
And here I am.
Here we are.
Once again.
Interesting, my friend. Very interesting.
Is it though?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think people who know you as a relatively positive guy.
They do, which is always surprising to me. People are always like, oh, you're so calm and collected, and you always are just like upbeat, and you're always willing to help people. And I'm like, internally, I am just a dumpster fire.
It's that meme of the dog where it's like all on fire. This is fine.
Everything is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I am just, all the cogs in my head are just turning all the time, and every now and then, and they just start smoking and stop working, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Reset.
Exactly. I think this just forces a smile on my face. Like, everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything's great.
Everything's fine.
Yes. But,
I think that's important when you have, well, let me actually rephrase this as a question instead of a statement. Do you think that you have that disposition because you have a team of people that rely on you? Would you still be this way if it was just solo dolo, Horace?
Probably not. Because I think when I'm by myself and I'm like physically or mentally under distress, it does show physically.
Right.
I think when you have a team under you, like, you don't really have time to be like, oh my God, what is happening? Like, you're the person. So like, you have to immediately think of what is next. Like,
You're the guy.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Like, someone comes to me with a problem. Literally, Kaylee came to me with a problem the other day, and I was like, only Jesus can help you. I'm sorry. But I had to backtrack, and I was like, no, it's my job.
It's me. Yeah.
I am Jesus in this moment.
Unfortunately,
We've been a little sacrilegious today.
Yeah, I'm sorry to our Christian audience out there. We don't mean any of this.
Yes. But yeah, so it's just, I definitely, with a team under me, I definitely have to think consistently and, always about them. And, sometimes, like, I had a couple employees that weren't feeling too well last week, so I had to, like, put my big boy pants on and, do some of their job for them and, realize how incompetent I really am. But yeah, definitely, for sure.
And are those your big boy pants that you have on currently?
They are not. They're currently at the dry cleaners.
Okay. Last week was a real bad week.
Last week was a little rough. I had to wear them all week, so I got to give them a break.
Oh, yeah. Steam them.
Exactly. Just get them steamed and pressed and prepared for the next moderate disaster.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you just I'm learning a little bit about you, Horace. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if this tendency that you have, to circle back here, to take on this amount of responsibility and keep a, what's the word I'm looking for? A brave face, if you will. Perhaps that comes from your mother, being a single mother.
I needed another sign that I was becoming my mother today.
Welcome to the Psychoanalysis Podcast.
Yes. But, I mean, yeah, for sure. Definitely growing up with just me and my mom and, having her do all the things and be brave, I probably did pick up on a lot of that. Yeah, definitely, for sure.
I think it's a good trait to have as long as you don't lose your mind in the process, right?
You take care of yourself, people. I do yoga on a regular basis. I actually did some before I came.
Dude.
Yeah.
Raymond was telling me last week he's been doing yoga. Maybe I need to get into freaking yoga.
You definitely should, bro. Breathing, stretching, so good for you. Yeah. Yoga, drink tea. I like to do things do what makes you happy. What fills your cup. That's always helps you prepare for the next day or week, no matter how stressful. Enjoy your time, Paul.
That's right. Yes. So, folks, if you're out there if you're listening, and I should have said this up top, if you're listening to this podcast, do this for me. Do this real quick. All right. Take your shoes off. All right. We want only socks. It's a good place to start, I think. Or bare feet if you're at home, not if you're in public, though.
That's weird. Yeah.
That's really weird. 7-Eleven feet, as my girlfriend would call that. Get yourself a nice hot cup of tea. Chamomile, perhaps. Green tea.
Yes.
Let's see. Chai tea. Although there's caffeine in that, I think.
Yeah.
There's caffeine in green tea, too.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say chamomile. Get some lavender. That really cools the nervous system.
Throw some lavender in there. Some eucalyptus, perhaps. Make a big bowl of noodles. All right. Get a fuzzy freaking blanket.
Oh, my gosh.
Sit on the couch. Get your cat over there. Get your dog over there. Get your significant other over there. Whatever. Actually, don't. This is you time right now.
It's all about you.
Listening to this podcast. My battery's about to die again, but I got to get this out before it does. And relax. Take it easy on yourself.
I'm glad you got that out before the battery died.
Thank you. I think it's going to freaking die any second now. What? Camera change. Sorry about all the camera changes there, folks. The batteries are not being cooperative today.
I think it's just you.
I think it is just me. So, Horace, pivoting a little bit here.
Yes.
What do you think the world of real estate will look like 5 years from now?
That is a good question. I don't think anybody really has the answer to that question. I hear a lot of people talk about it and they're like, oh yeah, this and this. I'm like, do you really know? Do you really know?
Do you?
But hopefully whatever it is, it's less crazy than it is now. We were just talking about the fact that my rent is going to be absolutely insane.
Bonkers.
Absolutely ridiculous, mate.
Nutters.
But yeah, I really, 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 really hope that, at least there is some affordable housing out there for people.
Amen.
Not just for people trying to buy a home, but for renters like myself. But there's affordable housing. There are options, not just single family separate homes, but, duplexes, apartment buildings, things that are as cheap and affordable for the people. You know what I'm saying?
Morgan & Morgan.
Morgan and Morgan?
For the people.
Oh, yeah. I did not catch that first time around. But yes, I really just am hoping that for first-time home buyers, you caught last time my last podcast, I was trying to buy a house. That is not happening anytime soon. So, I'm hoping that it becomes a little bit easier for the people out there,
Let's hope, let's pray.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a way if you want to, but it is a little difficult.
Where there's a will.
There's a way, where there's a will, there's a way now. That's actually a song.
Okay.
Make that up.
I was like, I don't know this one. Is Horace freestyling again? I don't know.
I'm into obscure music,
What song is that?
It's actually from a show called Central Park.
Okay.
It's on Apple TV. It's an animated show.
Central Park on Apple TV.
Wonderful. It's a free advertisement.
It's a plug for you.
Yeah, exactly. Free clout. This is not a sponsored ad. But it's really good. You should watch it.
Right on, man. I just finished watching Stranger Things.
Word.
And The Bear.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, man, you got to watch The Bear.
The Bear.
You got to watch The Bear.
Is it about a bear?
It is not.
Oh.
I will give a spoiler-free synopsis for the people out there that haven't seen it because I do recommend it. Basically, you ever seen Shameless before?
A little bit of it, yeah.
Lip,
Kind of,
the oldest brother or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
So he's the lead actor.
Okay.
And basically, he has spent the past, however many years being a great chef in these great kitchens all across America, wins all these awards and whatnot. While he's out in California or New York or something, he finds out that his brother passed back in Chicago and has left him, the main character, in his will, his restaurant in Chicago, which is a far leap from the luxury high-end Michelin star restaurants that he's used to. It's more of a Chicago sandwich shop. So then he has to step in, and his goal is to make it a respectable restaurant. Chaos ensues. Would recommend.
Entertaining.
Yes,
So where does the bear come in?
The Bear, I would spoil something if I told you where it came in. Yes.
Okay.
So
a very interesting concept.
you'll have to see it for yourself.
Yes. I have to watch that. You know, I'm a restaurant biz guy myself, so
Hey, man,
I have
those
to
were
take
my
a
first
look.
couple jobs, my
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah, I think you would like it. There's a lot of behind, there's a lot of
Oh,
that.
the corner.
Yeah, corner. I need hands,
Oh
that kind of
no,
stuff.
not hands in the window.
Yeah, so that actually perfectly segues me into my final question for you, Horace.
Okay.
If you could recommend one book, one movie, one podcast, or one show, or a combination, okay, to the audience, which would you recommend and why?
Okay. Well, so I really liked the Trevor Noah podcast, which is basically like his TV segment, but on a podcast. I don't know. Trevor Noah is dope.
He's great, yeah.
He's great, and I think he kind of portrays politics in a really comical way. And it's a really good way for people to get like their content and their update on the news with also having a good laugh and something relatable as well. There's like a couple other guys that have done it out there, like him, like Stephen Colbert and stuff like that. But I don't know. I say Trevor Noah. To be honest, the only other podcasts that I watch are like Crime Junkie podcast.
Yeah.
So I can recommend some of those if you'd like. But yeah, I like Trevor Noah. Now the book, I read this maybe like 4 months ago. The Alchemist. Have you heard of it?
Oh, yeah.
Have you
Paulo Coelho. I'm not saying that right,
course.
but yeah.
Yes. Have you read The Alchemist?
Like 4 times in high school.
Oh
yeah.
my God, I love that book.
It's
I think it was
fantastic.
my second read through only, but it's such a good book. If you haven't read The Alchemist, it is totally. Is your phone camera okay?
Listen. I'm about to just record the ending of this on my phone because our batteries keep dying, folks.
Oh man,
You can keep talking. I'll put something.
you want me to keep talking about The Alchemist?
Yeah.
Okay, so The Alchemist is, briefly about. This is so distracting. But it's kind of like what we talked about a little bit today. It's really about finding yourself and finding what is your niche, and making sure that you do that. The book has a lot of religious undertones to it, but if you're not religious, it's perfectly fine for you to watch. And it's really all about, making sure that whatever it is you're doing, it's something that you want to be doing, and it's your calling, basically, what the universe wants you to do. No spoilers, but basically it's like when you are doing or working towards what you're supposed to be doing, watch out there. This is so unprofessional, Paul. But when you were doing what you were supposed to be doing, the universe basically conspires in your favor. So do what you want to do what you feel as though is your purpose in this big, wonderful, scary, complicated world. And, hopefully things will work out. That's kind of what The Alchemist is about. But you should read it and get all of that from the book, not from me.
That's right.
Yes.
And we're back.
And we back.
Sorry about all the battery dyings there, folks, but you should be able to see our faces now. Yeah, man, it's a really good book. I read it a couple times. I think the first 2 times were because it was a mandate, like summer reading or something like that. And then I was like, oh, this is dope.
It's so right. Like you got to come back to it when you're like an adult, and you're having kind of a little bit of an existential crisis, and you're like, what am I doing with my life? And you just gotta read it and like
You're not being forced to read it.
exactly take a deep breath, And that's I suggest taking some of Paul's suggestions, getting a good cup of chamomile tea, maybe a weighted blanket, maybe a cuddly friend, kick your feet up, no shoes,
No shoes.
no socks if you're at home, and read The Alchemist.
Chill out.
Chill acts.
Chill out while you're at it.
Alrighty. Oh wait, am I still recommending things?
Oh, you can. Yeah,
Oh,
fire away.
oh man, what was it? Movie, show?
All right, so you hit the movie? No, you didn't. Sorry. You hit the podcast and the book.
Oh,
Movie and a
okay.
show.
Movie and a show.
Might as well round it out.
Might as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna recommend my favorite-ish show, which is Community, which is a popular show for young millennials, old Gen Zers as ourselves. Um, it is, I like the show because one, it has little just nits of liberal nonsense. I'm a big, liberal junkie. So every now and then I just like, love that, eat it up. But also it teaches you to not take life too seriously. It also teaches you to take your time. All of the characters, it's a really funny show, so the message is kind of like a really kind of underlying, it's not like in your face.
Yeah.
But they're all adults that are going to community college because they screwed up in life basically, and they're an unlikely group of friends, and they all have just these flaws that just have hindered them in life. And I just think it teaches you not to take life too seriously. It teaches you to take your time, and it teaches you to just do your thing, do what makes you happy, do what brings you joy, and work on yourself. We're all works in progress, kind of. It's a good show, and it's really funny. Sorry,
that was Jinx, by the way. I was gonna say, and it's got Donald Glover on it.
Oh my gosh,
the king,
Donald Glover.
Truly,
yes. But that's my show.
There's your show. We got
the movie. Oh God, you see, I don't even know if I really watch movies like that. I love the Star Wars franchise. So the entire time my head is just thinking Star Wars. But if you haven't seen it, I don't know if you haven't seen Star Wars by now.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, you're probably just not going to watch it. You're probably just not like a big nerd like me.
Do you have a favorite Star Wars movie?
Probably Episode 3.
Which one is that?
It is the Return of the Sith? Revenge of the Sith. It is the movie basically that is setting up episode 4, 5, and 6, which is
gotcha.
The Empire.
Oh, is it the one where, spoiler alert, but if you haven't seen it, come on.
Yeah.
Is that the one where he basically becomes Darth Vader?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
That's the episode. That's really good. It shows, not to be all lesson-y and preachy here, because, that's what I do.
It is a podcast.
It is a podcast. Yeah, very true. But yeah, it shows how, even the greatest and brightest individuals can be tempted by the dark side. Wow. And how that transition can happen. Pretty dope. Powerful stuff, people. Go watch Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
If you haven't seen a Wookiee, what are you doing?
Come on.
Yeah, come on.
I haven't seen those prequels, as they call them, since I was a kid. I rewatched the original trilogy.
Right.
Every once in a while, probably once a year, but man, I haven't seen the prequels in forever.
Yeah.
They get a bad rap.
They do, and for some good reasons.
Yeah.
They're a little, iffy at times, but they're good. I think they're really cool because they have the technology to make,
We have the technology.
We've got the tech. To do all the cool stuff that they would have probably liked to do in the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's neat. It's neat to watch for a sci-fi nerd like myself.
Thanks for tuning in to the Star Wars podcast. No, those are all good recommendations, man. My favorite out of the 4 things you just recommended between, let's see, what was the first one? Trevor Noah. We've got The Alchemist. We've got Community, and we've got Star Wars. Star Wars.
Star Wars?
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I was iffy about that one. That was the one I was like, ooh, I don't know if I should recommend it.
Yeah, it's classic, man.
It's classic.
At the risk of boring the audience, you want to hear my 4?
I'd love to.
Okay. Just because I feel like I'm going to be asking this question a lot, and I might as well get mine out of the way.
Yeah.
So one book, probably The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and I never feel like I'm saying his name right. Allison Silver, if she's watching, she'll give me a cosign on that recommendation. It just say, I'm not a big fan of the, how do you say, like the genre of self-help books in general. I find them to be preachy, and I also don't subscribe to the fact that like this person has life all figured out.
Right.
But this isn't that kind of book. It's more about just kind of overcoming like mental roadblocks without trying to ascribe or prescribe like a specific way of living your life. It's just like a different way to think, really. So would recommend. 10 out of 10. One movie. Ooh, that one's hard. We'll come back to that. One podcast. See, I'm a true crime junkie as well.
Right.
But I'm also into like UFOs and stuff like that.
Oh.
So if it's slightly controversial, but it's a podcast called Last Podcast on the Left.
Okay.
And it's very much like true crime, aliens, witches.
I love all that
all
stuff.
that kind of stuff, but like they put a little like comedic spin on it as well. 10 out of 10. It's not going to change your life, but it's definitely entertaining. Right? One TV show. That's hard.
That's difficult. There's a lot of good ones out there.
Run the Jeopardy music right now. Dun, 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 dun. One TV show. Well, I don't know.
There's so many.
Obviously, I'm blanking. So let me just list off a couple. The Sopranos, fantastic. Just finished Stranger Things. That was really good. Ozark is really good. Something more lighthearted. Parks and Recreation, fantastic. Atlanta. There it is. That's my recommendation.
I love that show.
If you haven't seen Atlanta, that's a fantastic
Glover comes
show.
Back again.
A masterclass in direction, acting, soundtracking, music, however you want to call that. Just a fantastic show. Last season comes out in September. We've strayed so far from real estate right now. Horace,
but it's fine.
But we're gonna wrap it up here in a second. Let me just do the movie real quick. I wouldn't say this is my favorite movie of all time, but as far as recent releases go, Everything Everywhere All at Once was a fantastic movie. Just check it out. Michelle Yeoh. It's sort of a multiverse, like sci-fi type movie, but they also weave in like comedy, like family drama, love story in there. It's a very multifaceted movie. It will make you cry in theaters now.
I don't know. I'm an emotional rock, Paul.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll cry.
I don't know about that, Horace. All right, so
Anyway.
So Horace, thanks for coming back, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, don't ask me back again.
Okay, won't happen. Wink, wink. Is there anything you want to promote, social media or anything like that, man?
No.
You don't have to say yes. That's all right.
I don't have any socials. I have a TikTok, but it's secret.
Secret.
Nobody follows.
Secret.
It's my journal. Don't look at it.
Okay. So 54 Realty social media then,
Yes.
perhaps.
Yeah, sure.
That's at Go54 Realty on most things, at 54 Realty on others. And who knows, you might see our faces on there.
You should. My face is somewhere out there on the 54
for sure.
Realty sites.
For sure.
Um,
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone, listening, whatever you might be doing. Again, sorry for all the camera changes, but we like to keep you on your toes. This is round 2 of the new equipment, Love and Life, Living Large. It's definitely an upgrade.
I like it. I like the swivel.
Yeah, me too. You can really just...
Yeah.
Now I'm over here. Now I'm up close.
Very entertaining.
So if you're watching on YouTube, thanks. Appreciate ya. Subscribe, like, drop a freaking comment while you're at it. Let me know what you think about today's episode. If you're listening, thank you for doing so. If it's on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, one of the other ones, go ahead and follow, like, drop a heart, drop a 5 stars, all the things that help the algorithm help us out so we can keep bringing these sweet sounds to your eardrums. Let's see, social media at The Real Estate Playbook. That's number 1, Facebook. Number 2, Instagram. Number 3, TikTok. Go ahead and follow us on the social media platforms. We do appreciate it. Website is therealestateplaybook.com. You can see the latest episode. You can send us an email and say, Paul, you suck. We hate your shirt. We hate your hair. We hate your face. Or you can say, I would love to be on the podcast. Either or. That would be awesome. Think that's it, folks. Horace, appreciate you, man.
Thanks, homie. I appreciate you.
And to the listeners, viewers, we'll see ya next week. Theme music.